And we're live.
We're recording? Oh, my thing's not switching.
What's up?
There we go.
We're
What's up?
live.
Welcome to
Heyo.
Just Janky. We are three simps who botch Avatar canon and talk about our feelings.
Welcome to Just Janky. Welcome to Just Janky. Welcome to Just Janky.
I'm Sean. Got Mark and Aiden on
What's
deck.
up?
Our podcast is all about how we talk about serious things, but we don't take ourselves very seriously, nor do we take anything very seriously. So yeah, join in for the ride. Critique us. We may or may not listen, but we love having people a part of the conversation. So at the end of the podcast, Mark will list all the details of like the email and how you can get a hold of us. But right now we're on YouTube, SoundCloud, and I think we're working on Spotify, right,
Yep.
boys?
That's the
What's
plan.
the-
We're
what's the
working on
update?
Spotify. I think we need a little bit more content, but
Okay.
we're gonna work with an outside party, I think, because you need I don't know, Spotify makes it that you need a third party to do your thing. So anyway, we'll figure it out.
We're not enough of a party.
I guess not in their eyes.
Not enough for them.
They're lost.
What song was in your head when you were just dancing? I want to know.
Dun, 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 dun. You know, Vega Bus.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm setting a timer for us because we can be dum-dums and let it go too long. So
Okay, so I say we clue in the audience because this is what we're doing. We are gonna shoot to make this a 45-minute episode.
particularly because Mark's editing skills just simply do not line up, and
That's
everything
not
takes
true.
longer.
That's not true. That's not, okay. So I Mark had taught himself how to edit lately, and so he's like talking about stuff that I struggle with on a daily basis, and it's just great. He's talking about how last time he had to edit a. Sorry, people keep texting me. I'm so popular. It's spam mail.
It's okay. A trash truck's going on outside my house, so I'll just. You have grace, John. Don't worry.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna make it a 45-minute episode because Mark can't edit. I'm kidding. He can. He taught himself Premiere. That's my boy.
Is that the one that I learned? Yeah, that is the one I
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah, the Adobe Premiere.
I'm dumb, dude.
It's okay.
All right.
You know what you can do next time is you can take the banana that you use to eat normally, and you can type on the. You can use that to hit the keys for when you're editing, because you're a monkey.
Yeah, your thing just cut out. You're a monkey.
I didn't mean to do that. My
Yeah,
phone
for
just said 20% battery, so let's make 20% battery work for 45 minutes.
You have low
Yikes.
power mode? Yikes.
Yeah, I am.
Alrighty,
All
fam.
right.
Well, if John leaves, we know why.
Yep.
I have a portable battery inside, so I'll run
It's
inside.
not because he's bored of my jokes.
That's
the dad
never the
jokes.
case, ever.
All right, let's keep us moving. 45 minutes and counting. So last week we were discussing, I don't remember how we got on the topic, but we were discussing moments where we had opinions and then they changed.
Yeah.
Like our boner for Kim Jong-un's sister.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Sorry, Lindsay. Does
Dude,
somebody
okay,
want-
wait. I was talking to Lindsay,
Please.
and she didn't see that for the longest time. And like
What?
the other day, she watched it. And she's like, "You guys are ridiculous. Like, you're embarrassing me. So like, we have to do it more.
We
We
have to do it more.
really like we have to
Double
just
down on
really,
it.
Like, yeah.
I like that.
Great.
Hmm.
Wow, I just spent like 3 minutes in Zoom trying to hide the chat. That took forever. All right, I'm here, guys. I'm focused.
Okay. All right. We were getting on the topic of things that we have changed opinions on, right? Because I think I brought up how I think it's important for people to be able to change their opinion once they are subject to new information on
Yes.
things.
Which I'm
Yeah.
particularly
and also
bad at.
once you grow as well. Like, I mean, I'm a different person than I was when I was 16, thank the Lord. And so I'm
Yeah.
grateful that I can grow and change and I don't have all of the same things, right?
Yep.
or
Yeah.
opinions, you know. So I think
you're
we're
a much
talking
better
about
man
that.
than you were when you were 16. You used to. I remember when you bullied some kid at Hume for calling someone a bitch, even though he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, he didn't
That was.
deserve it. I'm pretty sure. How
Dang
did
it,
I bully
I'm
you?
gonna have to bleep that one out, John. What the heck?
In your opinion, how did I
You know how hard that is to
bully
do?
you? You just cost Mark
You
a
give
half
me
an
a
hour of work
wedgie.
for that one word.
Dude, I lost a tooth because of you. You- no,
Nah, I'm pretty sure I
Dude.
just mean mugged you. That was it.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I never would have thought we would have been friends after that. But look at us
Yeah.
now. It's
Yeah.
like what's Paul Rudd? Look at us now.
Look at
where
us
we-
now. Who would have thought? All I
Okay.
remember was I heard it from somebody that you said that, and then the person who you actually called it told
Then I
me that
said,
it
what,
wasn't.
bitch?
Yeah, I'm trying to not a lot of work here.
This,
You're really
editing
just
this episode's gonna
piling
be
it
a
on,
bitch,
dude. You're the worst. I'm just not. All right, it's just that word's going through now. Oh
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna hunt it down every
Damn.
time.
anyway, all I was saying is I wasn't mad at you after the person who you call it said it, like, told me that it was okay or it wasn't a big deal to her. Because, like, at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? As long as the person who was on the receiving end didn't really feel like it was that big of a deal, I'm like, you know what? I don't know the situation. I'm not going to get involved. So I changed my opinion based on new information. Bring it in full circle. Where's
Nice,
the
nice.
air horns? And now John's
Was that
gonna-
actually your answer, Aiden?
What?
Was that actually your answer?
No, it was just like a.
Okay.
I
Good
just
job.
did a thing
Stupid
there.
story I
Come
All
on,
right,
decided to
give
bring
us
up.
your real answer.
Answer to what? The question?
Yeah. When
We're
was
starting
the-
right.
when was
We're just jumping right into it.
Let's
No.
do
I
it.
mean, Aid,
You
if
gave a
need
huge segue. The segue's
If you
been
need a
like 2
second to
minutes
think
long.
about it, I have something I can.
All right,
John,
John,
why don't
you
you
start
take
because
us
I'm still
away?
thinking. I'm
Yeah,
still
come
thinking.
on, John.
Go,
Take
John.
us away. I want to hear. yours.
Okay. So this is getting into maybe like sensitive territory, and Mark, I'm fully open to you stopping me or like your input, but
What?
Mark taught me a lot about how a lot of my jokes about that my dad would make growing up, and just a lot of stuff I would make fun of, like things that I thought were harmless about making fun of like other cultures or my own culture, were actually more harmful than I realized. And I just grew up for the longest time thinking that if I make fun of everybody, then the playing field's even. I know that there are some people who still have that way of thinking, but Mark really opened my eyes one day when he was sharing with me about all the like, I don't know if oppression is the word, or just like prejudice that his grandmother's gone through, and like how many, like, thinking about how many times I like straight up I've made so many Asian jokes thinking they were so harmless, and I like defended that, like, if I make fun of everybody, then the playing field's even, but the playing field's not even, it's, I got to realize, Mark really opened my eyes to where I was, I'm definitely in a place of privilege, and I was a little blind. I was definitely very, very blind to seeing where my actions were actually causing harm. So, I have a different opinion on that, and I'm much more, I mean, obviously I make slip ups, and Mark's very forgiving, but he's not afraid to bring it up, and I appreciate that you brought that up. But I remember how much of a 180 that was, and now how nowadays I have to tell my dad, like, okay, I know I'm giggling at that, but that's because I am so used to giggling at your jokes, and like, here's why I think we should get a little more creative with our comedy, So, anyways, that was a big one for me. That's kind of recent and like relevant, and I never would have thought that my best buddy would change my opinion on something like that. I totally thought like it would be some angry, political type of person, but turned out to be my best bud who really, came into that situation very humble. So, yeah. Way to
Damn,
finesse it.
you went deep on that real quick. Love
Sorry.
it. No, I love it. Yeah, I mean,
Just-
I forgot
Yeah.
we had that conversation. What was
Yeah.
that? Like 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
It was, yeah.
Where I had to tell you to stop being an effing racist.
Yeah,
Just
that's
kidding.
exactly what you said.
No,
you
I
said
don't think
you're
that's
a
what I said.
bigot.
And a hater, and I can't have none of that in my life. No, and this is something I thought about last week because we were talking about, for a moment, we were hinting at like being biracial. So I'm half Korean, half white for our people who are listening and don't know me or don't know that aspect. Half Korean, half white. So my grandmother, my Haimanim as we call her, is Korean. She moved here from America when she was about in her 20s or 30s. My mom came when she was 4. My mom's full Korean, so I'm half Korean, that kind of thing. So something that is totally plays into my heritage. But typically Asians are kind of the butt of the joke. There's a lot of stereotypes flying around, and don't love that. So it was a good conversation, and the sometimes I have to be careful even myself of the ways that like I find the stereotypes funny, and I have to correct that for me too, of like, nah, but like, there's hurtful stuff that's at the bottom of that for sure. So dude, good call. I forgot about that conversation. And because, the one other thing I was going to say is that you totally are super proud of your heritage too.
Right.
So you want to say something about that? Explain what you are.
I explained it last.
Hey John, what are you? Oh no, you did explain. Sorry, you did explain.
Where are
Sorry.
you from, Mark? Wait, Mark. But where are you from?
But where are you from? Well, I was born at UCLA, so.
So you were born in America, but like, where are you from?
But like, where are your people from? So
I never. Okay, so I've been lucky enough to never really get that question, but there's something in my teeth. So I'm half Latin American, like South American. My dad's from Paraguay, and my mom's Southern, she's from Georgia, but like if I were to like really pin it down, it's like she's a European mutt that like somewhere in that heritage, like we were like the Waller family was on the Mayflower. That's as much as we know. We haven't done the whole 23andMe thing, but as far as like
my dad was
family,
German and fled the Nazis, so get on my level. Just
wait,
kidding.
he what?
My
way?
My dad didn't, but the Schaubs did.
Dude, that's tight. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
After you're finished, I'll pop in with a story about my grandma.
Yeah, sorry. We're really derailing the conversation. Continue, John.
Does it have to do with Nazis?
Yeah.
Oh, tight. Okay, I'm super stoked. Wait, you're not Jewish, are you?
Just finish your story, dude.
I'm all curious now.
You forgot his story. Anyway,
my story is so uninteresting.
Let me wrap it up.
Freaking Nazis. Now my story is boring.
Let me wrap it up.
Like we like to drink tea and we speak a native tongue called Guarani, and that's it. We didn't really like run away
That's
from
exciting.
Adolf Hitler.
Shut the frick up.
I want to hear about the Nazi shit.
No, what you said is interesting, and that's one of the things I wanted to point out too. Is that like you're very prideful about your heritage, i.e., I'm going to butcher it, but your yerba mate is very cool, like, and you're proud of it, and so that's what I was saying, like, or what I was trying to hint at is like when you take a dig at your own culture or my culture. Back when you were a dum-dum and I was a dum-dum. Not that we're not dum-dums anymore, but we're just
right. Oh, right, because we're not dum-dums anymore.
No, we are dum-dums. That's what I'm saying. We're dumb boys, dude.
Monkeys.
Literal bonobos. Like when you take digs at my culture and when you take digs at your own, you're just removing some of that pride, like be proud of it. And you are. So it's not authentic to yourself when you do that. Aiden's story about his grandmother. Go.
Basic. I'll keep it quick. So my grandmother. So I call her my Nana. She passed away a couple years ago. But when she was a girl, I don't know if you've seen the beginning of the modern Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
Where it's basically the scene where London is being bombed at the beginning of World War II. Literally, she was alive in that time and had to be evacuated into the countryside like the kids in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then she also grew up to be a nurse and was somebody else very she was an awesome strong woman. So
That's so cool.
it's just a little cool tidbit about her life. So
Yeah. So like the whole thing of like the parents dropping off the kids on the train, and the train,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
going to the side and dropping off the
Yep.
kids.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
because the raids were intense back then.
Right. Was that who is what's his name? The guy that was that World War I or World War II?
I actually don't remember at this point. I might have misspoken and said 2. It might have been 1, but I'm not sure.
Well, no, we weren't going against the Germans in 1, right?
Guys, Nazis was World War II.
Right, but I'm pretty sure Germany was involved in both of them.
Yeah, Germany was involved.
Yeah, no. That's why it's called World War.
But
like,
World War II was not, or World War I was not like, we weren't up against one regime. It was just people were disagreeing about their toes getting stepped
we were
on.
against Sweden.
Anyway,
you're dumb, John. You're dumb. We're about to get roasted in the comments, you guys.
Oh, dude, I made that joke because I know this. World War II was my ish, dude. I was obsessed with it as a kid. Anyway, go ahead.
But I can also jump on board. But the funny part about my family is that there's in the like countryside of Germany, there's a little village that is only Schaups.
Whoa.
But half of that, so like it dates back to the like around World War II era.
Yeah.
And in World War II,
like inbreeding?
Kind of. we don't have to talk about that.
I thought he lagged a little bit. It's like I was like, he's not gonna answer, and then he said, "Kind of." It's like, oh.
But my parents went to visit it, and in the graveyard, bunch of Nazis. So half the family stuck around and became Nazis, and half the family went to America. Shout out to Levi Schaup, who decided to take the family to America.
Wow.
So, yep. And then on the other side, my Haimanim, my Korean grandmother, and my Korean grandfather, my Harabaji, who is no longer living, unfortunately, but they both fled North Korea. My grandfather was in the army. My grandmother was just fleeing. So we have crazy stories if we ever wanted to tell those.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
There was a point where like she was on a boat.
Isn't there like there's like a handful of people who have successfully done that?
Yep. And somehow they met up in South Korea. So they fled from North Korea to South Korea, met each other, and they were like, wait, you're North Korean too? So if we really want to talk about it, I'm actually half North Korean. But we won't say that. There's no separation between the two.
Whoa, so like you can relate to like Kim Jong-un.
No.
Kind of a wifey,
I'm just gonna mute you out. I'm muting you out so you can't say any of that. What I know
you're actually the host, so you could literally mute him.
Oh yeah, true. Wait, how do I do that?
I can unmute myself.
Manage participants.
I don't think you can. Maybe not. I don't know.
Doesn't get to talk.
Okay,
yeah, that's what you get, bitch.
Doesn't get to talk. Doesn't get to talk. Doesn't get to talk.
Suck.
This is actually perfect. You save yourself some editing if you know that he's gonna.
Real editing.
If you know he's gonna go into it.
Yeah, he was about to swing. All right. So John's opinion changed. Aiden, I have a light topic. Where do you want it? Do you want to go or you want me to go?
Mine might have some more opinions. I'm fine to go if you want me to.
I mean, I can go second and then we can end with yours.
Sure.
Mine is quick. I, as many of you know, am very picky. Was even pickier when it came to food when I was younger.
Really?
And one of the things on my no-go list were beans.
I'm not a big fan of beans either, TBH.
Oh, wow. Aiden, we got to talk. So was not interested, that kind of thing. And then I went to New Orleans and I discovered red beans and rice. And that was a game changer. And then Taylor also introduced me to beans from Puerto Rico, where they're like pinto beans and there's a ton of garlic, and like that ish slaps.
That sounds awesome. I've never tried that.
So at some point, we're going to have to take you to this restaurant called Mofongo. Shout out to Mofongo, which is incredible Puerto Rican food. Little hole in the wall.
That sounds great.
Actually, over where John's dads live. Dad lives. John's
North Hollywood?
Dads. Yeah, in NoHo.
I actually have gay dads.
Does your dad watch the show?
I just coffee on my.
Yeah, your dad's about to swing.
My dad would giggle at this. He'd think it's funny.
Anyway,
my dad has the same sense of crude humor that I do.
I love it. But anyway, great place. So by discovering and branching out to other cultures was where I found beans that I really liked. Now I'm like all about the beans. But Taylor doesn't like the beans because a certain thing comes with them. So do you guys
I'm
know
pretty
what-
sure there's a lot of other things that comes with
Oh
beef
my God,
that,
you guys-
that can
Well,
give that.
I mean,
Let's be honest here, because I don't eat
Wait,
beans at
wait,
all,
you
and
guys
I
are
can
maybe
give
I'm just
as good as
immune
I
to
get.
like.
What?
Go ahead. Sorry, I
What are
interrupted.
you talking about? You didn't want to. Are we talking about the same thing?
Who? Me?
Me.
No, I'm saying
Us.
I'm kind of maybe it's the Latin blood, but I'm immune to the whole like ripping ass thing. When you,
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Taylor
Anyway.
complains about it all the time. It's the worst thing that
Yeah.
I do.
Your toots? Let's just be honest.
My two. Well,
I
you've
hate that
seen them.
word.
You've heard them.
Oh no, I know
You've
I've heard
smelled
them. That's all I'm saying. I'm just
You've
saying.
witnessed them.
I hate that word.
Toots.
Ugh.
A toot.
Because
do you
my mom would
prefer?
say it. Mom, it's a fart. It's not a toot.
No, it's totally a toot, dude.
It's not.
I got the.
What you do to a
toots.
trumpet is a toot. I guess that
Yeah,
does sound like a.
Come on. Your opinion's changing now that you got some new information.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm just gonna keep saying that. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
All right. Any other thoughts on toots, or are we moving on to Aiden?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a
All right, go
natural
ahead.
thing that humans do, and we should
Sorry, toots.
try to conceal them. Of course, you don't want to share them with everybody, but sometimes
Put
if
a
you hold it
silencer
in,
on it.
sometimes if you hold it in, it gives you cramps, and that's no bueno either.
No,
Oh my
no
gosh.
bueno.
That's the funniest thing. For the first 2 years of my relationship with Taylor, I would hide my farts by running to the bathroom and being like, I have to pee. I gotta pee. So she was like, you pee all the time, which is not untrue.
Which you
I
still
just-
do.
yeah,
You
it's
I
still
do pee all
actually
the time.
do.
I do pee all the time, but for every like 2 fake trips to the bathroom, I was actually going pee, or going like the third time was actually a pee. It wasn't a fart. So then like at a certain point, she was like, like I've heard you fart. It's fine. You could just do it. So then it like opened, and then she was like, oh, this is a lot of farting. Cause I was like, yeah, every time I went to the bathroom, that's what that was. So you opened up the world to it, but I don't think you wanted to.
Yeah, it's that.
Yo,
vulnerability
homeboy was
level.
like Aladdin. He's like a whole new world. Oh.
And Taylor was like a new terrible point of view. Am I right?
Oh my gosh.
John, what is happening?
I hope you guys saw that, but I got up to go get my portable charger, and I like ran into a tree and spilled my coffee all over
Nice,
the
bro.
grass.
Nice.
Hide your camera. This is distracting. There
All
we
right.
go.
Anyway,
All right,
I'm gonna
Aiden, you
go into my opinion change.
Yes, you talk about it.
So an opinion that I held pretty strongly in high school. And I'm gonna like preface this with, if any students that that I interact with or that attend our youth group are listening, wait for the whole context. Don't just take one little thing that I'm gonna say and then run with that. Anyway, so what I'm gonna say is my opinion that I held.
Take
really
it out of
strong-
context.
Freaking John. Anyway, the opinion I held in high school was that you shouldn't date in high school. And
Yes.
I held that opinion pretty strongly until maybe my like second year of college. And for the record, what I should say is the opinion was about myself, not everybody. I held the opinion that I should not have dated in high school, or that some other people, depending on their circumstances, shouldn't. But it depended on what you want to get out of it. Now, the reason that my opinion changed was I think that was mostly based on how do I put this nicely to myself? It was mostly based on the group that I was in, and other people saying, hey, you shouldn't date in high school. And then I never really thought about it for myself. And then before I really thought about it, I kind of was like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a promise to God that I'm not going to date in high school. And then when you tell people that, it's like, well, now it's like, even if I grow up and have a different conversation with God, that it's like, I don't really know what I can do, because those people also know. So yeah, I think, and then also this was the part that was not nice to myself. I had a terrible view of what dating was. and how it affects you. And so I think I was right in the sense because I shouldn't have dated in high school because my perspective was terrible. But I also don't think that I should have had that perspective in the first place. So I'm glad that I grew up, learned a little bit more about what relationships are like, and how to, I don't know, how to communicate a little bit better. That's something I'm still working on. But also how to process through my own feelings and not rely on another person for my identity and for my well-being. So that was kind of the main little thing that I had thought about. That was my opinion that changed because I was subject to new information.
I feel like as soon as I heard you say, like, I had the opinion that you shouldn't date in high school, I heard the mine, like in the movies when someone steps on a mine,
The landmine
they
click into
they
place.
step on it and they're like, oh shit, and like
Yeah.
they know if they
Yeah.
to move a foot, kablooey.
Yeah.
So I know that's a difficult topic to talk about. So
I have
thanks
a
for bringing
question,
that.
Aiden. So
Yeah.
you say it switched not when you were in high school, but in college.
Yeah.
What actually made that change happen?
That's a good question. I think so.
Because you actually, no, you didn't. You waited to date until after you graduated, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And
I remember that season.
It was the pinnacle of all relation. No, I'm just kidding. It was terrible. And I think for a lot of reasons, the years after of reflecting kind of got me to the point of I put exactly what I said at the end, my whole identity into a relationship, and even just afterwards when I didn't have a relationship, I was like, there were so many times I was like, oh man, if I was just in a relationship, this would be better. If I was just in a relationship, this would be better.
Yep.
Then I got into another relationship with my current wife, and none of those things got better. And that had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with me in my mind of like, oh my gosh, I've just been putting all the pressure on a relationship, not actually figuring out what my identity was outside of that.
Yeah.
And that all comes from what God says. And also, I think that the big part was I put a lot of blame on myself when, or I guess I redirected, and this is the counseling term that I've labeled it with. It was false guilt. Put a lot of false guilt on myself, saying that I had like not heard or not trusted God, when in reality I had, but somebody else can make a completely different decision, and that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And so
Interesting.
I think all in all, and I'm rambling, I know that.
No, you're not. You're sharing.
No, that's true. But I tend to ramble.
Good job, John.
I tend to ramble. Thanks, John.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Take that. Tell that critic
shut
to be
the
quiet.
frick up, but keep talking.
Tell that critic in the back of your head to be quiet so you can keep talking.
Anyway.
John, did you say the F word right there? Do I need to bleep that out? I couldn't even catch it, dude.
No, I didn't. I said frick.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
come on. It's
I didn't say fuck.
It's okay.
Damn it! We're letting that one slide. I'm not digging through this footage to find it. I'm not digging through the footage.
Anyway, my perspective now is that people should not put all the weight in their life on a relationship, on another person. That's not.
I think that's huge.
Because what happens when that gets altered, right? It's devastating, and it shouldn't be, but it is, and that is totally avoidable. Speaking from experience, you shouldn't want to go through that. That would be stupid. And so I think my opinion now would just be go into it with good preparation, and don't just use your brain a little bit. Don't think with other things, because that can get you into trouble. Like media, don't think with media in mind, because that'll get you into trouble. Don't think with your dick.
Yeah. You know, the number of times that John and I have tried to figure out which of his headphones has his mic in it. Now we've given him the secret power that he knows which one it is.
I'm so sorry to all of our listeners.
To our listeners.
Oh,
It's gonna
my
clip
gosh.
so hard in the post.
Oh, no.
Anyway, does anybody else have any thoughts on that? Because I want to hear your guys' opinions.
You know, sorry, I definitely do, because I came from the opposite kind of perspective of like, I definitely should be dating in high school. It sounds fun. Like, I didn't overthink things. Okay, I take that back. I overthought everything, but I didn't overthink the same things. I was overthinking like same concept but opposite perspective, different perspective. Like my worth was the relationship, right? And like being in a relationship. I had a very like unhealthy perception of relationships as well in high school. And you know, now that I'm older, I think there's totally a way to learn how to be selfless and get to know somebody else in high school. But that's not what we're all thinking in high school. We're thinking with our diplomas in another D word, in idiocity, our diplomas in idiocity.
It's true.
And yeah, I definitely saw a lot of the like, I'm not going to date for high school and I'm not going to date for college. And I was like, I don't know. I just thought, I was like, it seems fun. Like, and also I feel like I couldn't make it. I genuinely had a fear that like I couldn't make it through high school if I didn't have that cool like relationship that I'd seen in the movies. Like, it's like, I don't know how good of an example this is, and I'm not going to say it's a good example, but this is what my perception of like the epitome of like a beautiful high school relationship was. And no, it wasn't High School Musical. Even though Troy and Gabrielle were
wrong.
super goals. It's not. It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Ramona Flowers.
Yikes.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. That's like that whole movie was just like the epitome of like, I mean, not fighting dudes. I was like not a fan. I don't like.
Gonna be honest, never seen that movie before, but I've gotten so many people saying I need to watch
anybody
it.
who's watching this that is like over the age of
5. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't just watch the movie. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It is a really good movie.
Multiple people have told me that I need to watch it.
Yeah, dude, it's really well done. Like the like if I were to get into my, you know, I really like this movie for these reasons, I could go off on it. But it also just like really does a good job of representing what I perceived was, you know, oh, this is love and all that stuff. And it's a little bit toxic. Like you'll watch the movie and you got to realize that like this is not a super healthy perspective to have on relationships because you know, his whole world was around it. It's very comic booky, so it's part of the storytelling. But anyways, yeah, I came from a similar perspective of like my worth was in having a girlfriend. My worth was in having a successful relationship, and my mind was constantly on that. And I mean, now that I'm older, like I realize that there's a way to do it, and the way that I did it wasn't it, you know, because I think that peer pressure was huge on me, you know, and it really affected me to do a different extreme, which was to constantly be pursuing, you know. Yeah.
That's good. Thanks for sharing that, John.
Yeah, dude. How about you, Mark?
I'll make one comment and then we'll jump into the next meeting. Yeah. So my 2 cents, I don't know. I'm not going to weigh in on the dating in high school, that kind of thing. I had a ton of growing up that I needed to do. And Taylor and I were not ready. I was not ready to date in high school. I will say that. I was a dumb boy. But that said, one of the things that resonated with what Aiden was saying was like finding your identity in the other person. In the earlier parts of our relationship, I totally did that. And like when Taylor was frustrated, disappointed, insert word here, as she should be because I let her down, it rocked my world. Like I was like, I let down the one person that matters the most to me. Da, 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 da. When like in reality, she had grace for me. It was fine,
Yeah.
you know, but like in my head, I blew it up into this catastrophic thing because that's what my identity was grounded in, you know, unhealthily. And it wasn't her fault. It was totally mine that I like put us on this uneven scale. But as a result, it meant that like, you know, I gave her all the power and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm rocked when she was being very honest with me. And I appreciated it because she was telling me how I was making her feel. And that was important because she was valid in saying that. But I just totally feel that of like, if your identity is not in something solid, relationship is not the place to find it. A lot of times Taylor would be like, I would like to date a man, not a boy. And that was a nice way to be like, Mark, come on. Let's get those feelings sorted out, please. Because she would like have to care for me and like put my feelings back together. But that's my job. That's on me, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Anyway, I mean, Taylor's also great about caring for me and that kind of thing. But like my emotional taxing stuff should not be on her shoulders to take care of, you know?
Yeah.
So now we're going to move into the next segment. Does anybody have any other thoughts to add to what we were saying previously? No? Cool. We're at about like the 35-minute mark.
I don't know. Just use your brain. That's all I'm going to say. Just talk to other people as well. Talk to other people.
Yep. Don't just take our opinions on it because, again, we're not any kind of certified anything.
We're certified.
Yeah, of course not.
We're certified stupid. We're certified
maybe
stupid,
a little bit,
dumb boys.
But all I was going to say was context matters. So don't just take what I say for me and implement it into your own life. Figure out what it means for your life. Ask questions about it. You can ask us questions about it. You can ask me a question about it.
You should ask the Lord.
Ask the Lord.
That's how my abuela says it.
And opinions might change. This is just adding to that.
Yeah, who knows? When I'm a kid, when I'm a parent, I might have a different perspective. Like, no, you're not touching any boys or anything.
16.
So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to our last little segment where we respond to an email. Next week coming up is going to be. Oh wait, I need to play. I wanted to play. Okay, we'll just be doing our little segment called "Stupid Shit We Found on the Internet," and so write in and send us a thing. I'll give you an email at the end if you find something crazy. We're not very good at doing that, so send us something for us to react to.
That would be dope.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm pretty good at finding stupid
stuff. I'm not. I'll speak for myself. I'm not finding it good.
I see like 10 stupid things a day. My faith in humanity dies 1,000 times a day.
At least like once a week when I'm like on League and I see crippled champs join the game. I know that
That's Mark for anybody who's wondering.
That was my like angsty 16-year-old self being like, I'm so cool, crippled champs, baby.
Yeah, it's not like it's any better than Thought Blaster.
Let's go.
That's Aiden.
Thought Blaster 9000.
It's John, by the way.
Wait, hold on. No. Just so we're very clear, my name is not that.
John is Thought Blaster.
I have so many jokes I can make, but I can't.
Nobody's surprised by that. And Aiden
what's your username? Aiden, what's your username?
My username? My username is Midas Goose.
Goose. We call him the Goose.
Which doesn't mean anything. Just kidding.
You mess with the honk, you get the bonk, boy.
There it is.
That's true. That's going to be, I'm going to use that next week.
I was trying to get it out of you, Aiden. All right. So we'll reply to this email and then we'll call it for next week. So our great friend Jojo wrote in. Shout out to Jojo.
Jojo.
The squad is not actually 3 boys. The squad is much wider than this, but this is just the. Shut the. Wait, did that come through? Uh-oh.
Oh, you.
I was trying to be quiet about it.
You played yourself. Congratulations.
I was trying to be quiet about it.
You had a banana in your mouth, you monkey.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
No, he had it up his butt.
You just angered Mark so much.
I hate you so much. I'm reading this email. Jojo says, first-time listener, read that wrong. Uh-oh. He said, long-time listener, first-time caller, love the podcast, love you guys. Just sat down and listened to all the podcasts, so I'm going to respond to all of them at once.
Whoa.
He says, new thing that he's implemented during corny teens. He spelled it CORNYTEENS push-ups. I've always been working out, but he now does 100 push-ups every day to build up the gains. 2,
That's
Dude's
smart.
insane.
he was saying, known all of you for long times. He's trying to like remember when our first time that we interacted with him.
Oh yeah.
Known
yeah.
all of you for long times because of CA students and have lots of experience with you all. I remember the steal the bacon where Mark got carried like a sack of very small potatoes. He had some love is
True.
blind thoughts. We'll just keep rolling with those because we're so far beyond that. But basically, he reports Carlton, and then he honors everyone for like trying the experience out. 3, I think you guys nailed the point on vulnerability and that it requires trust going both ways. Especially for me, I hate being vulnerable, which you guys already know.
Ooh.
But it's easier with you guys because of years of trust and friendship. Love is Blind is honestly the hardest thing to watch because he thinks that Carlton didn't handle it. Gigi's one of my least favorite people besides Jessica, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you, Jojo.
So thing that he's most proud of. Shut up. Thing that he's most proud of is he says losing 40 pounds his senior year is probably the things he's most proud of, which was just insane. Yeah. I was talking to him recently, actually. I think we should do another fitness challenge just because I want to walk.
Because
2021? But we have to do the Spartan race. We have to do a Spartan race.
Wait, are we?
No.
We're still planning on doing this half marathon in October,
Yeah.
right?
Wait,
we got an email saying it's happening. I'm saying listen to my mouth. I said 2021 bonobos.
Oh, okay.
We're saying who knows if the actual half marathon's gonna happen, you monkey.
God, apologies. And then he says, the only thing I can think of that I've changed my perspective on has to do with food and how I like them or I don't. I can't think of anything more serious than that. And for sure, water. He says he loves rain, so he would love that it rained all the time. He says, love you guys. Keep it up. Don't forget to read. Don't got to read this whole thing. We did, but proud of you all. And they said kissies.
Besitos.
So I was saying that we should share our first memories of, or not first, our favorite memories of JoJo to give our friends a little
favorites.
Little thing. Because the thing that I'm realizing is this is like who my groomsmen will be. So at some point we have to do an episode about David. Because that would be fascinating.
I love that little Smurf.
Bro, I'm gonna expose this kid.
So we really need
for the actual
to
crackhead that he is.
We need to get JoJo on here as a special guest to talk about who my best man will be, which is my little brother David. And
oh my gosh,
oh, that would be an episode.
He's the ringleader. That's why it would be so great.
He's the literal ringleader. Oh gosh,
he's something.
He's something else. All right, sorry.
Talk about JoJo.
JoJo. Spotlight.
I can think of something.
Yeah.
I have something right off the top of my head. And JoJo and me laugh every time we bring up this story. So, Hume, I think, how old was I? It wasn't 8th grade year. It was 7th grade year. The year that I called someone a bitch.
Oh my God.
Same year.
You just keep coming back to that, man.
He's coming back, dude.
Dude, that was a crazy year, dude. So we decided it was me, JoJo, Andrew Walsh, Tyler Garibay, and I don't think Ginkle was there. I think it was another kid.
Dude,
it was Noah.
Doofuses.
Noah, the young Noah, the kid that was obsessed with soccer. What's his last name? He's like,
doesn't matter. Keep going.
I forgot his last name. And
I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah. So we decided to have 5 dudes in one room, which is not what you're supposed to have 2 dudes a room, right? There's 2 beds, and so you have 1 dude in one bed and one dude in the other. So
this is a college dorm room. College dorm room for reference.
We brought mattresses from other rooms into this room, and they were like the floor was covered in mattresses, and then someone slept on the desk.
Hey John, how old were you, and how important was hygiene at that age?
Pretty sure you're a 9th grader,
11
right?
or 12, and like I'm pretty sure that like I didn't shower all week.
Oh my gosh. Man.
So just imagine what that room smelled like.
Oh, dude, it smelled like death. It smelled like Okay, this is where it gets better. So I gotta finish this story, else it's gonna
How
get
does
too
it
long.
possibly get
So-
better than this?
Oh, it gets so much better. So by the end of the week, the contents of the room were hot chocolate, blood, and ink for a ton of ink from a pen. I might be. I
What?
mean, I'm missing like Skittles scattered all over the place, like wrappers all over the place.
Dirty,
I think
dirty
someone spilled
laundry. Let's
water.
not forget the dirty, sweaty
Dirty
laundry.
laundry. Oh, an empty Axe can from an Axe bomb. Dude, it was insane. I would have been your guys' worst nightmare
I
as a
know.
camper.
I'm aware of it.
And
We roomed
so-
together later, and it was still bad.
But dude, okay, so JoJo was in that room with me, and so you know the little door, the little closets that you can like close and like put your now that we're older, we like put our clothes in there and stuff. But back then,
Like
it
a
was
normal human being.
yeah. Back then, that's where it's like we would like throw someone in there and then lock them in, and so we did multiple things with JoJo. I remember him and I came up with the idea of shoving someone in there, and it was Tyler. We shoved him in there, and then we took an axe, and this is an axe bomb, and you took a rubber band, you put it over the thing, and we started it, and we opened it for a second, threw it in, and we closed it, and you just see.
You're
smoke
actually
coming
a
from
bully,
under
dude.
That's reportable, man.
Yeah,
That sounds like
that's
the most
reportable.
toxic thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh
Dude,
my
I
gosh.
know, dude. It was so much fun. I don't even care. I really don't.
Dude, there's so much from like the stuff that went on in those dorm rooms that just cannot be talked about.
I know. Oh yeah,
Gosh.
definitely.
You still want to have
Yeah.
a career?
Ball.
Shh.
Anyways,
Yikes.
so when Tyler and Andrew, I think I wasn't a part of this.
This
But,
isn't over?
You're
There's
not-
more?
This is the part with JoJo. This is the part with JoJo. Someone threw JoJo in there. I walked into the room, and then they took like a pen, and you know how there's like the little thing that closes the door, like you can
Yeah,
lock.
it was
the-
like two little things like this, and they closed.
Yeah.
and you could
There's
put a
two little
pen
things,
through it.
and they put a pen through it, and
To
JoJo
lock
was
it.
like, "F no." They tried to lock it. JoJo barges through the door, and pen ink goes everywhere. It splatters all over everyone's stuff. So like
That's one of the
that's how
things.
the ink
JoJo
got
has
there.
always been such a solid dude that you couldn't stop. You couldn't stop him with a pen.
Oh,
It's a
dude,
funny joke,
yeah.
but you couldn't do it.
Yeah. And then the rest of that story of how the hot chocolate got there and how someone got a bloody nose
It's
and
for another
and
time.
then someone got kicked in the face while we were playing a game where you spin around a tons of times and then kick a football as hard as you can.
Like
I
I'm
can
losing
tell.
brain
I can
cells
tell
just
I
listening
can
to
tell a
this.
more mature story. I'm assuming that
That'd be
Aiden
great.
will bring it
That'd be
around
great.
with a
That'd be
good
great.
one. So I'll just tell.
I don't put that pressure on me,
Oh,
brother.
okay. Well, I can tell. Do you have one? or
Don't
do
tell
you-
a mature story if you don't want to.
Go.
Say
Let's
it.
hear
okay.
it.
Mine is short, but like one of the things I really appreciate about JoJo is how like dependable and loyal he is. So like when I was leaving to go back to New Orleans in January, I had legitimately a 5 a.m. flight. So that means like I had to leave from my house at 2:30 a.m., get there at 3 to LAX, and leave at just the butt crack of dawn. And like I was hitting people up, I was like, hey, like how can I talk you into giving me a ride? They were like, oh, I don't know. Like my own brother David wouldn't do it. My own flesh and blood was like, nah, fam, I need to sleep. And I was like, all right. And then I hit up JoJo and he was like, dude, of course. And so he showed up in his little sedan, little old car, trusty car, rolled up, put my 3 suitcases in there and took me to the airport. And I was like, dude, have you slept yet? He's like, nah, we're just going to go to sleep when we get back home. So,
Dang,
dude,
what a guy.
only a real homie drives you
He's
to the
so
airport.
loyal. I
at
love that about
2:30.
JoJo.
Yeah,
He's such a good
super
friend.
dependable.
Yeah.
I know that I can always count on him. He's going to be in my life, dude. Going to be in my wedding.
Hell yeah.
And on at my engagement party, when I made the mistake of going to Habit to get food, so I was late to my own engagement party, JoJo was there with me the whole time. And then he said, by the way, Mark, not doing that on your wedding day. On your wedding day, you are staying planted at the site. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to get any food.
Oh, I remember this conversation. Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to make sure that you are ready and available and not late. One of my the less good qualities. I'm late a lot.
Which is funny because right before we started recording, Mark was flaming me for how.
Oh, but
He
like you're
how I'm
late.
all the
Like I'm late,
Dude,
but like
shut
you're
up.
late. I will not accept that. I'm not in the same group as you, dude.
Oh, wow. Whatever.
I just want to see
But
you
I
guys
love
fight.
you, John. But I love you. You know it.
Fuck it.
Aiden?
There's just so many good stories with JoJo at Hume because we've gone to Hume together a lot as leaders, and there like a couple of times where there's two stalls next to each other and you're the window facing out onto the ocean and you guys sit next to each other in different stalls and poop. I think one of the best moments was when we were all at Hume as leaders, and I was on the other end of a hall, so it was like a double hall. So there was
This is
my
the greatest moment of
my
my
hall,
life, dude.
and then the other hall, and then there was a middle ground. I think I was rooming with somebody with Derby. Yeah, I think I was rooming with Derby, and Mark and JoJo were rooming together. And
we
it
had
was like
an entire hall of 20
Yeah.
boys to ourselves that we were
Yeah.
not policing. That we were.
I mean,
Bullying.
basically, that's certainly how
We're
it feels
bullying.
all the time. It certainly feels like we're the wardens and we're
middle
like,
school
"Go to
boys.
sleep."
Middle school boys. Yeah, you got to tell them to go to sleep.
Yeah.
They
Anyway,
stack easily.
I was thinking I was going to take a nap because you'd need that at a summer camp. And then I get this text that,
No, I think I called you.
did you call me? Okay, you called me. I'm a boomer. I don't have a good memory. You called
No,
me.
JoJo called me. JoJo called you because I was
Okay.
blocking the door.
Thank you. That's right. You're helping me remember why.
Yep. JoJo, I was
JoJo
like,
calls me.
JoJo, we're stuck. Like, what do we do? He was like,
Because the boys were hunting you, right? They were after you. They wanted to come wrestle you, right?
well, we were trying to nap as well.
Right.
And they were banging on our
they were
door,
trying to
and I was
prank
like,
you
dude,
guys.
what do we do? And then Aiden,
And then
JoJo
JoJo
pulled
called
out his
me.
phone, and I was like, oh,
JoJo knew what to do.
snap. Here we go.
And I remember I was on the phone and I said, okay, I'll be there in 5 seconds. And so I just started the countdown of like 5, 4, 3. And then as I get to 3, I open the door and I see the boys barricading the door on the other end of the hall. And as soon as I say 1, I think JoJo and Mark open the door and we hit them
pull
from
the door
angles.
open, and they fall into our room.
And then I was right behind them and we were making boy dog piles, like forcing them to. And they were all
Go to sleep.
just like John was saying, these boys are stinky. So that was the best part because we were making them stink on each other, making them smell each other. So I just remember so many times throwing down with JoJo at our right side. And yeah, he's, like Mark said, he's dependable. He's somebody you want to take into battle. And also at Hume, whenever people chant their teams like sweets, he would always chant JoJo. So that's what I was doing when you started talking about JoJo, because
Right.
I always think about that now when I hear his name. I'm like JoJo.
Love JoJo.
He's the man.
So anyway, JoJo, we love you. We have many memories that have already been made. Stoked to make more of them.
Yeah.
So write in. What's your favorite JoJo memory, if you know him? If not, let us know.
If you don't know him, just tell us your favorite.
Yeah, tell us your favorite memory of JoJo. If you don't know him, tell us about a time where you had a perception that was changed. Our email is justjanky3. That's the number 3 at gmail.com. Justjanky3 at gmail.com. If you write in, we'll talk about your email on our next podcast. We're here every Monday chatting it up. Like John said at the beginning, we're a bunch of dudes just doing life, having a good time. And if you want to join us on that ride, come along. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're working on being on Spotify. We're on SoundCloud. So you can choose if you want to see our faces or not. All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.